I can't grow my business further because no one can do the job as well as I can. And can you really teach passion? Well, if Isabel is still with us in the show, I bet she has a few comments about that. Oh, great, Michelle. Thanks so much for thinking of Ask a CFO since your other meeting got rescheduled. Fantastic. So yeah, I can't grow my business further because no one can do the job as well as I can. And you know what? I'm going to piggyback off of something that we just shared in our previous question. Do you have to choose one option or another? Do you have to go from, in the other question we were talking about best-in-class software, do you have to choose that or integration? Well, maybe you don't have to choose. Maybe you can have both. And in this question, there's a similar underlying principle. Do I have to choose between me doing it and mediocrity or a bad job? So the first thing I want to do is help you invent the possibility that someone else can do it just as well as you can. Isn't that amazing? I know you've spent everything in your life has brought you to what you can deliver right now. How could anyone else possibly duplicate that? Well, I'm going to challenge you, and here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to challenge you to look at it in a different way, and I'm not trying to convince you to lower your standards. Oh, not for a second. If I did, my friend Jessica would start yelling at me. No, keep your standards high. Lots of us on this call know that people rise to the standards that they know about. It's exciting, right? It's exciting to rise to a standard because you're bringing your A game and you can feel you stepping up your own life, and that's exciting to a lot of people. What I'm challenging you to do is look at the tasks that you do differently from the benefits that they deliver. I know, right? You're either thinking, oh my gosh, that's amazing, or how do I do that? Or what do you mean that's different? So let's talk about it for a moment. A task that you do involves a set of steps and a set of processes and maybe a deliverable. Maybe your deliverable is an idea, a spreadsheet, a physical delivery of something. And then there's a benefit that it brings. Well, what becomes available to the other party because you did this thing? So let's go biological here. Let's talk about basics. Let's talk about oxygen. The action being taken by my body is that I am breathing. My diaphragm is moving and pushing my lungs all over the place. They're doing what they need to do. Why? Just so they can pull in what's the air? NO2? Whatever it is that's in the air. It's not just oxygen. It's oxygen and nitrogen and whatever else. Just so my body can pull in a face full of that stuff, so my lungs can pull out the oxygen and send the oxygen up to my brain. The benefit is that my brain uses the oxygen to do all the stuff that my brain does. But are all those steps the only steps required so my brain gets oxygen? Maybe not. Maybe my diaphragm doesn't have to be the thing moving of my own accord. Maybe a machine moves my lungs so my lungs can take that face full of oxygen and process it, and not just oxygen and nitrogen and whatever else, and push that oxygen up to my brain. Let's talk about food. One way that I get food, right? I put food in my mouth, the food goes down my esophagus and into my stomach. My stomach does some stuff with it, digests, throws out the bad stuff, sends the good stuff all around my body, and the end result is I can sing, dance, and do accounting. And what else is there to life other than singing, dancing, and doing accounting, right? The end benefit is that I get to do things with my life. But does it really require me putting food in my mouth, going down my esophagus, going into my stomach to be digested? Is that the only way that my body can sing, dance, and do accounting? No. There are other ways. There's liquid food. There's nutrients that can be injected directly into my bloodstream. Other ways to get that result. Don't think that the way that you're producing a result is the only way to get the end result to the person or company to whom you're delivering that result. If you want to solve a big problem in the world, let's say hunger, one way to right? I mean, how many ways are there to solve the critical issue of hunger? There's producing more food. There's an approach of saying the amount of food we're producing is fine. It's a matter of getting the food to the people, let's say. Those are two ways off the top of my head, and this isn't even, my life is such that I don't have to think about this very frequently, and that's not one of the problems that I'm tackling in my life. But after 30 seconds of thinking, those are two radically different ways to solve a problem. So my answer to your question, if you can separate out what you're doing and how you're doing it from the result that you're delivering, you can, as my friend Whitney Bishop says, you can set your people free to do their genius work. Keep them inspired with the end goal. If you have processes and procedures, sure, provide the training. Some things you just have to train on, right? Be specific in your training and make sure you're delivering the training in such a way that it reaches the people that you're training. Maybe they need an audio format. Maybe they need a video format. Maybe they need illustrated. Maybe they need prose. Maybe they need written checklists. Find out how they learn, how they take in information. And yes, they'll reach your standards. Michelle makes a great comment here. Set your standards really high. Even if you only achieve 75% of your goal, you're still further along than where you were. Are you going to say you're heading up a business or a not-for-profit that's out there doing some great good in the world? Are you going to say, man, I could help 500,000 more people if I only had a team? But man, I don't have a team that does everything exactly the way that I do. So instead of helping 500,000 people, I'm going to help 5 people because by myself, I can only help 5 people. What? Stay focused on the end goal. Lorette, welcome. Lorette is also a champion for entrepreneurs reaching their potential. She comes to us from New Jersey. Lorette, thank you so much for joining us. She's also a scientific mind. Great to have on the show. I look forward to your comments or your questions. So, and as for teaching passion, the best thing I can say is show your passion. And anybody who's open to that is going to be inspired and feel more free to express it. I wouldn't teach it per se, but I would be self-expressed. I am self-expressed about my passion in accounting.